All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Dikith's Band of Merry Men here on New Platinum content. Uh, Last we left off, we were exploring the city of Waterdeep. Still, the group had finally, sort of, kind of, maybe decided on a path they wanted to follow, which included them chartering a ship to a place, an island known as Maztica, which, as they had found out recently, was a semi sort of savage land that no one that they had met knew of anyone returning from. Upon searching the docks, Kovash started looking around for anyone strange, out of place, and his paranoia kicking in. He eventually actually spotted a tabaxi, not an extremely common sight, um, but he headed that way and found out that this tabaxi was from a place near Maztica and had sailed there before, and may have had a captain who would actually be interested in taking them there. They took the rest of the party to the ship, which they found out the name of the ship was the Howl of the Night. And upon meeting Captain Dayan Mornstar, and kind of arguing and debating over a price, they settled on chartering for Maztica, which they found out would take them quite a while, and was going to be extremely dangerous, more so than they thought. After that, we basically pick up on them after they've chartered this deal, and I don't believe you guys left off in the I'm forgetting the name of the yawning portal. Wow. I believe I left you guys off in the yawning portal, um, setting up for the night, getting ready for the next day. And that's where we'll pick up. Um, as you guys awaken in the yawning portal, in the rooms that you've had, um, kind of exploring and having bought your what you've needed and maybe setting a course for where your destination will take you next. What is it that you guys would like to do?
Sif in the morning after getting ready is gonna head out to um, to the blacksmith to extend the commission, considering now he has a time frame on when they'll be gone
All right.
around and debate a price.
Is anybody else doing anything?
I think I'm
Uh,
good.
Catra's going to go down and grab some breakfast, but other than that, no.
Yeah, breakfast is it for me.
Dikith will follow Katra.
Yeah, the busy hammer. That's
Yep.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna turn down. Is Master Music Volume command the sound of the dice rolling? Because that's just loud. Or typing, whatever. Um, so after you guys have gathered and eaten your breakfast and done what you need to do, gotten your armor on, and so on and so forth, you all see that Sif is getting up to leave. Are any of you joining him, or what are the
Sif,
rest of you doing?
where are you going?
I'm off to go extend the commission so we can actually leave a bit sooner than later. Especially considering he needed a few days. They can leave. They could leave as soon as later tonight, and I might not have the full exact funds now that we've chartered such an expensive boat
All right.
trip, I should say.
I was just wondering. Make sure you check back in with somebody.
Well, if you want to, you can come along with me.
Sounds rather boring.
I'll go with you.
Alright. Sif is gonna wait up for Kovash before kind of giving a nice wrist shake gesture before heading off towards the busy hammer.
Yeah,
Alright.
Kovash goes with and scans for familiar faces the entire way.
Go ahead and give me, go ahead, perception or investigation, however you really want to do this. The place is busy enough as you guys step outside of the yawning portal. Waterdeep, as you've noticed, is pretty much packed shoulder to shoulder wherever you're going. And as you step outside and kind of get your first glance around, and as you keep watch as you guys head towards the busy hammer, um, nobody really looks anywhere near what you're used to or what you're looking for. Everybody kind of gives you and Sif a wide berth, um, and you're kind of sore thumbs in the massive crowd surging around you. But as you guys make your way to the busy hammer, you guys about 45 minutes get you there, and upon seeing the familiar building, the long, very square-like one-level building that takes up a massive amount of ground, you enter into the large and very oppressively hot main room that several of the forges are currently active, with many apprentices and men working them, and a familiar face. And we're going to pause there for a moment because I have to back up. If most of you can look, those of you who are watching, we've I, the DM, had a small brain malfunction, and I used a video game that I'm not going to talk about, their family name in place of the actual family name that I meant. And the owner of the Busy Hammer is Varkskin Battlehammer, not Bronzebeard, as in from the video game, famously known. So that's all I'm going to say on that. That was my goof up. I apologize. We're going to jump back in. Sif, you do see the familiar face of the wildly orange bright mane and beard of Varkskin himself, who sees you upon your arrival, as it is somewhat early in the morning still, and not much business is filtered in as as straight up customers. So he does come over to you and he says, I'm so glad to see you, laddie. I've actually got several drawings for you."
I'm good, and very much like to look over these drawings with you. And a little bit of, I wanted to pay a little something forward because I bring unfortunate news, actually. I'm due to port off soon, and we've chartered an expedition of sorts. And so I won't be gone, I will be gone for a long time. So this commission I want to extend over the duration, and I want to discuss full price, that way I can make sure to bring it to you upon arrival.
Oh, okay. So what are you thinking?
Well, sir, this is your craftsmanship, and I dare not risk to dishonor it. You would know what it would be worth the most.
Well, first you'd have to decide on what kind you're thinking of here. Like I said, I have several drawings for you.
Oh, then I'm most intrigued to look them over and see which one we shall decide upon.
And he nods and he kind of turns and walks away for a second and begins going through somewhat a filing cabinet sort of looking thing. Before he does bring out several old parchments that have these very, what appears to you to be very intricate drawings of armors and their setups and how he would detail them and how he might fit them to your body and all these things. And he shows you several. And then he pulls out a last one that he says, and he turns and he looks and he says, he points, he taps on it twice with his fingers and he says, "Aye, this one, me boy. I think with the dragon scales that you gave me, I could make something gorgeous with it." and you see that as you look on this drawing, you see this intricate, um, blackened scale looking plate armor, where the knee pads are these two flattened dragon faces staring out from your shin guards, and then on your shoulders are these set of larger shoulder pads. However, they've been engraved to look like larger dragon wings because the helmet that would be resting on your head in fact looks like a dragon head, and your face is kind of sitting in the gaping maw of the dragon. And you see, and he points out along the back, and here, and he points and he shows that he's turned what little of this frayed dragon scale skin into a flowing cape that is attached through the helmet and shoulder pieces.
Sif is just kind of like looking over like the desk. Yeah, he's like one of the generals who's looking over like the big map, and like he's looking at every little piece, every little intricate point, and tracing his fingers along some of the points. And he just kind of sits there for a minute before he's just like, "My fucking god! By Tempest, you must be of his blood."
Of whose blood?
Uh,
You never gave me a name.
Varkskin, the man, the dwarf who created my weapon back in the Mithril Keep, the one who taught me everything I know of your culture, the one who raised me up, and I look at him as probably one of the father figures in my life. Varkskin, you definitely must be of blood of Houndston.
And he kind of holds his hand to his chin. I believe that's my great uncle's father. It sounds familiar. You see, I left the halls a long while back, so I don't know many of my family members extended. They don't like being this far south. As you can see, and he points around, and you see like two other dwarves beside his son.
Well, sir, I would keep an eye open. Some might be moving down or might have gone underground. Mithril Keep isn't the same as it used to be.
I'll keep that in good conscience and watch out for them.
And he's also gonna kind of slip out his gold pouch and say, "But of course, for the journey, I'm going to need something to hold off for now. Do you have some splint mail I might be able to purchase?"
And you see his face kind of sadden at the prospect of, probably not making a gorgeous set of armor at the moment. And he says, I do. Just a regular set.
That's regular sets, yes. And then I want to put some towards this set here. And as he kind of pats his hand onto the plant and says, "This here is something I very much wanted to do, but
The dragon.
my good sir, I want to make sure that you have a horde in return for it."
Okay. You were pointing at the dragon one, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he, it'll take time, but I'm sure it'll be gorgeous for you.
I'm more than sure that it will be.
Anyways, a good scale mail around here is gonna run you about 60 gold piece.
Do you have splint mail by chance? Do you have splint by chance?
Oh, splint. I'm sorry, I misheard. Splint is gonna run you around 200 gold.
All right, and he's gonna start counting out and pull out 400 and put it down. I'll put it down on the thing and say, "The other is forward payments for this."
I'm sorry, you put down how much?
400.
Okay.
200 for the split and
All right.
200 for as forward payment.
You know what? Because I like you, I'll begin making it right now.
Aye, sir. And I very much appreciate it.
So he goes off and he pulls off a suit of armor and he brings it over and immediately notices that you're too tall for it. So he begins working the leather strappings and all the bindings out and replacing them with larger, longer ones, and eventually fitting it to your body, and getting you outfitted in a very nice looking set of splint armor. And as you're kind of standing there, give me you and Kovash. Kovash, you're inside the building as well, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask something too.
Oh, sure. What's up?
I was just gonna ask if he had any recommendations for weapons on the water or in the water. I've never really fought like that.
Hmm. So, from what I hear, most people will use. I mean, obviously, you can't use a bow. It's just not going to work. But a crossbow will work really well underwater.
I'm more of an up close kind of guy myself.
Then have you ever tried? And he walks over to a wall, and he pulls off a trident.
Whoa, there's like 3 stabby bits on there. I want it.
Short swords also work, Kovash.
Nope, I want it. It's got 3 stabby things.
Well, with that and your wonderful kilts there, sir, it looks like it'd be right up your alley.
Give me a
Right,
second.
so how
I
much?
don't know. Oh my god. Well, this is finely crafted, so we're gonna go 10 gold piece.
Kovash hands out 10 gold pieces.
All right, and he gives you over this very well made steel trident. And you guys can both give me a perception check, actually. All right. So actually, as you're both kind of like talking and conversing and stiff, as you're standing there, excuse me, you do see. Wow, excuse me. All right, I'm done now. You do see that there is a like new what pile of crates and bags and boxes. It looks like a new shipment of supplies has arrived. And it's near where you guys came in and near where you're standing right now. And on it, you notice something that kind of throws you off. You remember the book that you all looked at that nobody could understand?
Mm-hmm.
You see a bow, like a bow and arrow, a bow, with several glyphs that look similar. Just kind of sitting atop the pile.
Sif, me in the midst of kind of undoing, getting out of the chainmail and loading into the split mail, which I should point out, Mark should probably notices the posture change as he's doing so.
And he kind of, where are you going?
What? What is that? And Sif points at that bow.
I don't know. My traders brought it in, and they said that there's something to it. But every time that it's strung, the 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 bowstring snaps. I don't get it. But it's beautifully carved, and nobody seems to know what's written on it, so it's kind of just there. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it.
I'll take it off your hands. It looks something similar to something I found in the in Kundra car.
Everything you can just have it. It's no
Barkskin.
use. Nobody's gonna buy it.
Barkskin, I swear, if I can, I will bring you your own horde from a dragon's belly.
You know what? You guys keep coming back, and we'll talk. We'll talk. And he kind of winks at you.
Kovash is practicing stabbing with his new trident.
And like most of the people have
Here!
stopped
Huh!
working and are definitely watching you.
Sif is gonna actually kind of stop and say, but I will take a crossbow, a light crossbow, perhaps.
All right. Hold on.
If I end up in the water, I'm
and
best I'm not trying to swim too
You
fast.
hear him yell "son" in Dwarvish. And the little toddler boy, beardless lad, runs up as he did before. Yes, father. And get this man a crossbow. You said light?
Yes, sir. I can use a better one, but
And
for now, I prefer my blade.
how many bolts?
I'll take 2 bushels.
All right. Guys are the worst. I don't know the price of that. All right. 30 gold pieces, please.
Sif will give him 1,000 silver and 20 gold.
All right. And he'll be like, "That's a lot of silver."
That was a lot of silver where I came from.
All right. And he starts pushing it into piles and starts organizing it as his son Grenning comes over and gives you the light crossbow and the bolts.
Also, Varkskin, one last thing. This chainmail, it's been through a lot, so you might not get much from it, but you're free to take it to salvage the materials you can from it.
And he kind of nods. Oh, okay. And he picks
It's
it up and
what it did come from Kundrakar, so it was of a fine make, at least.
oh, well, I'll look into it. Now, if there's anything else,
Unless my compatriot here is done stabbing in the air, I think we're all good.
What?
Nothing, Kovash. Yes, Varkskin, we are very good here. Thank you very much, sir.
and he nods.
Very
and
happy with what I have here and cannot wait to return to.
You immediately
you'll
see
make.
him like turn his back on you and begin like working. He begins pulling stuff together and like getting ready. It seems like he's kind of in a fevered pitch to work this.
Sif just kind of smiles and gets his helmet, pops it back on, and heads on out after grabbing Kovash and
Alright.
his new stabby bit.
All right,
3 stabby bits.
3 stabby bits. So go ahead and add those items that you guys acquired and the gold that you spent, and where are
Done.
you guys heading next? Back to the inn?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you guys will head back there. Meanwhile, the rest of you, what are you guys doing at the yawning portal?
I'm not sure actually.
You're not sure.
I'm just having a drink at the bar while I wait for
Yeah, I'm just
our
kind of
friends
like
to come.
sitting there. I don't really have a lot of
Go down the well.
no. I don't really have a lot of like interesting objects I want to investigate. I'm by and large just people watching.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting, actually. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Pretty interesting for someone such as yourself who enjoys people watching. There's a lot of interesting fellows here. You do see a person currently speaking with Dernan. He seems to have a cloak tied about over his head, as well as one of those I don't want to call it thief bandit-like masks around his nose and lower part of his face, leaving only his eyes open. Dark clothing. He's currently in the process of a very intense conversation with Durnan. You see a woman who's kind of just crying and sitting by the door, just kind of moping into her hands. You do see a young man in blue robes just kind of sitting there at the table drinking while drawing something. That's pretty much all that interests you right now. Push to talk?
Funny. I'm gonna start with the lady who's bawling into her hands. I'm gonna just kind of like slide on over to her and be like, "Hi, what's going on?"
It takes her like a good minute to like stop from like and like all the tears and
I'll press the digitation like a handkerchief and hand it to her.
she wipes it. Oh, thank you.
Oh no, you can keep it. It's yours.
My fool husband, he decided to go down the well.
He went down the well,
Yes, into the Undermountain.
like that well, and Catcher will point to like the giant well.
And she just begins crying, like even more so than before.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Why did he go down the well?
Yeah, I mean, haven't you heard there's supposed to be amounts of treasure down there? He thought he could make us rich.
Can he fly?
No, there's the elevator there.
So, and stick with me here. How did he propose to get out of the well once he got to the bottom of the well?
Have you not been here before?
Not even a little bit.
Oh, you can pay to have someone bring you back up.
Oh, so you just haven't heard from him in a while.
No, there was a man who went down and saw his body.
Oh, you rely and trust on this man?
I mean, it was a group of adventurers.
How did you know that they didn't just kill him and say that they found his body?
I mean, that's possible, but... Oh my god, did my husband get murdered?
It's entirely possible. I mean,
And she just begins bawling uncontrollably and runs out of the room.
and Catcher will shrug his shoulders. And he'll be like, well, that was intensely, strangely weird. And he'll like stand up and I guess like he'll go walk past the one that's drawing and look at what they're drawing.
And you see that he is currently in the process. Let me see. He is currently making a almost perfect drawing of the clockwork owl that you all saw on the wall earlier that he's kind of looking at.
So I'm gonna like kind of like slink away from him like a number of feet. And I'm gonna cast minor illusion on his drawing. And I'm gonna make it look like the canvas is blank.
And he's gonna be like in the middle of taking a drink, and he looked back. What? She's gonna be so mad.
And I'll walk over to him and be like, "Hey, what's all the ruckus about?"
Did you do that?
Did I do what?
And he stares at the paper. My drawing's still there. He goes back.
Why
to
would it
drawing.
not? Why would it not be there?
Well, for a second, it looked like there was an illusion covering it, making it look blank.
I understand that. Sometimes that happens to me.
Yeah, I assume it's you.
Nah, I've
What
got
do you
better things to
want?
do. Anyway, what are you drawing?
Join the owl.
Why?
My master wanted me to.
You're owned?
I'm not owned, I go to school.
Ah. And who is your master?
God damn it. Give me 2 seconds so that I can find out who this guy is attached to. Lady Relna.
Lady what?
Relna.
Ah. And so what does she propose to do with your drawing?
I don't know. It's not.
Do you draw a lot for her?
I mean, this is only my second time drawing like this.
And so what do you normally draw?
I like landscapes.
Have you ever tried drawing maps?
No. I guess
Maps
it
are
could
kind of
be useful though, but I'm not really going anywhere.
well, maps are kind of like landscapes.
I'm sorry, who are you?
The name's Langwin.
Well met, Langwin.
So, how would you like to go on an adventure? But there would be no personal harm to you, and all you would have to do is draw a map.
Um, where's this adventure going?
I'll have to let you know that tomorrow.
Well, you can't really expect me to give you an answer if you don't even know where you're going.
That's fair. Do you
Plus, I
stay
paid
here?
a lot of money to go to this university.
Well, but the untold riches where I'm going.
Yeah, but you're only going to be paying me a certain amount.
Yes, but a certain amount of a lot of untold riches is still a lot of a certain uncertain amount of untold riches.
And he sits there and stares at you for a minute. Yeah, sure. How about you just tell me, figure out where you're gonna go, and then maybe we'll make a deal.
Most definitely. Are you staying here in the
No,
Yawning Portal?
no, I stay in the city.
Where might I call on you?
You can find me normally at what's this place called? Sorry y'all. I didn't know you were just gonna be jumping me. Well, you can definitely find me here tomorrow. I'll be back. I know I'll be
Definitely.
back.
I'll update you then.
Will you be here around lunchtime?
Probably.
Alright. Otherwise, you can definitely find me in the North Ward, all the way at the north side. There's a large 2-story house. It's green. You can't really miss it.
Got it. North of North, large 2-story house, green, can't miss it.
North side of the North Ward.
That's what I said. North of North.
It's not north of the North Ward. It's in the North Ward on the north side.
Yeah, I said north of North.
Alright, fine. And he just gets up and takes his drawing and walks out as well.
And I head back to Dikith.
So, Katra, you've cleared out 2 of the people in the room. You're just heading back to Dikith?
Yes.
Alright. Dikith and Jelenith, what are you guys been doing while Katra is making people cry?
Just
Hey,
watching.
she was
Katra.
already crying. I just amplified it.
Sure.
I see you're making friends as usual, Katra.
Making friends? No. Picking up information.
What possible information did the
Well,
woman crying in the corner of the bar?
oh, you saw that one, huh? So, she had this husband, very attractive fellow. Fell in with the wrong crowd, right? One day, they fall on hard times, can't pay the bills, you know. The miller's coming around asking for their share of the wheat, and they just don't have it. So he decides he's going to go down to the bottom of the well, right? You know, untold riches, yada yada, and all that. Well,
Wait,
sometime.
there's go back to untold riches and the wealth. What?
And you guys see, as you're talking about this, you see the guy who had been talking to Durnan kind of slam his hands on the desk or the counter and just stomp and march out.
Hey, I'm telling a story here.
Then you see some whatever the mid ages equivalent of a middle finger is, as he slabs the door open and walks out.
Should we teach him some manners, or should we just let that go?
I think we should let that go.
Okay. Anyway, so it's been some time since she's heard from the guy, right? And one thing leads to another, and you know, she 100% thinks that the guy's cheating on her. At the bottom of the well, it's a siren. Who'd have thought? So she comes to this inn, and she wrangles together some kind of like adventuring party to go after her husband and see. They go down there, right? Just boozing, having a few laughs, not really believing that they're gonna find him. And guess what they find? They found him, and it's not. This next part's not really clear. However, I think they might have murdered him and then came back and told her he was dead.
People just go down there to get murdered?
Well, I think they go for the untold riches, but they stay for the murder.
That doesn't sound fun.
It sounds delightful. I mean, who doesn't want to stay to watch someone get murdered?
Me?
I think I don't think that's how the way you really feel. I think you would actually watch someone get murdered.
And at this point, you would see um, Kovash and Sif enter. By the way, Jelanath, have you been doing anything?
Nah. Reading the book again for the 10,000th time.
All right. So yeah, at this point, Sif and Kovash would walk in.
Hey, Sif, Kovash, I've got a story to tell you.
I don't want to hear it.
It's about
I
untold
got
rich.
a thing with 3 pointy sides.
Oh, it looks murderous.
Poke, poke.
Speaking of murderous, so I took care of my commission. It's all settled. So if we actually want to get going sooner, we can. We're no longer held up by that.
Hey, Kovash, I heard a
Right.
story about. Hey, Sif and Kovash.
Go ahead. You're gonna tell us anyway, so I might as well tell us now before we get on the boat.
Okay, so there was this lady in here, and she was crying earlier, right? And so, you know, being ambivalent, I just went over to see what was going on and why she was crying. And so, apparently, she had this old
I just cut in and tell him the short version.
And Sif.
Oh,
Hey,
right. I've
Jelena.
pushed a man down a well once. It was really funny.
I think he was dead after he got down to the bottom, though. I don't think the
Oh,
fall
yeah,
down-
so was this man.
But he could walk when he got to the bottom, I think.
Oh, mine couldn't.
Yeah.
Right, so
Hey.
what? Are we going down the well instead of on the boat now? Did I buy this pointy thing for nothing?
No, I mean, I just thought it was a nice story. I like your pointy thing, though.
Me too. Apparently, it's going to be good in the water.
Why not just, shoot magic at. Oh, never mind.
I don't know about you guys, but I intended to stay in the boat most of the time.
I mean, did you see how much water's out there? It's a lot.
Did I mention that I have a fear of bodies of water that I can't see the bottom of?
Tis a great time to mention it now.
Wait, you didn't mention it on the first boat ride we took?
We've been on like 3 boats, Katra.
But that boat ride wasn't so
Wait a minute. I
daunting.
think. Never mind.
Wait,
Never mind. He was
I just
drunk
want to
those
clarify,
times.
this boat ride is gonna be for 40 days and 40 nights.
I can cast sleep on you every once in a while.
Um,
You won't even notice. You'll wake up in my.
I'll just not look over the side of the boat.
Wait, don't we have to beat him up to make that spell take better effect?
I can beat him up. Kobash punches Katra.
Katra, definitely don't do that. That hurts.
Contra definitely went down.
Right. So, Maztica, we can go like tomorrow?
If you
Is that what you
wanted,
said?
we could.
I thought we could go today.
We're as good to leave when the boat is ready.
Cool. So, why don't we go talk to Captain Dayan and see how long it takes for the boat to get ready?
I thought they said the boat would be ready by 7.
No, I believe he said he'd be ready by on the morrow, and then we told him that we would need a couple days because of me. That's no longer. So
Well, yeah, but
Best double check.
Katra is correct. He did tell you 7 the next day.
perfect.
So 7 tonight in the evening.
Aye.
So then let's all get what we need, the last of the ammunition, any last look-sees, perhaps a drink and a last fine meal before we are eating salted pork for a while.
I don't eat meat. Well, red meat.
Salted everything.
Sounds delicious and nutritious, except for all the salt. That probably will lead to some bad.
Fat. We should also get some fruit.
So, we are going to Maztica.
I guess. I still don't really understand why.
Indeed, what is at Maztica?
And Sif will
Well-
pull out the map of the temple.
We have this map, this temple, which apparently, if I hear this correctly, people have gone to Maztica but then have died and not come back, which means there's a lot of treasure there. Plus, whatever those adventurers brought with them, so even more treasure.
On top of it, too, there's the continual prospect that, we weren't able to find very many maps of the area. We can also do what we can to make a good bit of money through that, all around as well. My biggest intention, though, is, as I said, so find answers.
Also, we found a tree with this map. No, we didn't. The map was in a different room, and then the tree was completely side story. But there could potentially be another tree there, and I wouldn't mind going there and burning down the tree.
I mean, there could be a tree pretty much anywhere, couldn't there?
This is a special tree.
So why can it be here?
So, can we talk about how we would like to? Are we choosing to go die on a random outback island?
The intent is not to go die, Katra. The intent is to go and conquer.
Okay, so
Wait, I thought
I
the point was to find a tree.
yeah, I mean, yes, the tree
A
might
t-
be
it was a turn
helpful.
of phrase, Kovash. We'll explain later.
No, it's a literal tree.
Oh, well, I meant turn of phrase as in conquer, as in wherever we go, whatever our goal is, once we complete it, we have conquered our task.
So I have a confession to make. I guess it's not a complete confession. I wasn't exactly lying when I told Jacob that I wanted to go through a door to get Elzan back.
Right, this Elzan guy. What door are you talking about?
The door that potentially leads to the dimension you go to after you die?
You hope to find a way to bring Elzen back from Maztica?
I don't think Maztica is the place that we're looking for, but I'm hoping to bring him back from somewhere.
Well, where do you think the place you're looking for is?
If I had to guess, I don't know much about afterlife, so I would probably have to start research with a religion of some sort.
I mean, Sif talks about a god a lot. You could start with him on the way to Maztica.
I don't know if I have a good feeling about Maztica, guys.
Right, so what do you want to do?
I want to, I guess, go to Maztica.
I mean, I did just pay 2,500 gold pieces for this trip that I'm pretty sure the guy used some of that money to buy materials for this trip. So,
Right, I say we go to the ship and leave for Maztica.
agreed.
Aye.
Awesome.
Plus, we gotta make use
Uh,
of this trident. This thing looks badass.
Yeah,
I'm,
look at it. It's all like steel, he said,
Jealous.
I think.
if we do want to, though, we should probably use what time we have left. Scour some libraries, temples, maybe even the words of a few drunken sailors who survived the waters before. See if we can't find any more prevalent information that might be useful for the trip there or about Maztica itself. Any bit more of information might be good. We get that, good. If not, we go to Maztica either way.
I just want to point out everyone we've talked to who has even heard of it said no one comes back from it, so I don't really know what you expect to learn.
I really don't want to die.
El Kovash, how many people thought I was dead?
I don't know.
How many people do you think I'm dead? Well, they
I
won't
don't
know.
know. At this point, theoretically, everyone other than me and Vortigern is dead.
Well, unless they come and ask you, us here, or hell, one of the dead orcs back in Kundrakar. No one knows that I'm alive unless we come.
Jeleneth, go ahead
Yeah.
and give me a con saving throw, please.
A con save?
Yes, please. So suddenly, as you all are having this conversation, uh, you're suddenly struck by this immense pain in your head, as if you've been struck by a blunt object across the side of your temple. Your vision goes white suddenly, and you just hear, and it just kind of, and right after your vision starts clearing, you get this voice that appears in your head, and it says, Jeleneth, finally able to contact you, wondering how your quest is going. Um, This is Katrina from the elves. Let me know.
Oh, that hurts. What is that?
Only for Jelenet.
Wait, Katrina from the elves?
Yes. 1 second.
You're cutting out quite a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, yeah, the elves from the Misty Forest.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
Hey Katrina. Took out a tree, killed a dragon, sitting in water deep now. But water deep? Yeah, sitting water deep now. Going off to Maztica in the evening. Got a book. Can't read it.
I think that's
Says Colbert on it.
And immediately afterwards, you'll get another message that says, "And what of the vanishing elves?"
Haven't looked into that yet, nor have I heard anything actively about it. But since I'm in Waterdeep, I can ask around about it.
And then there's no further message returned. However, you do feel like once your vision is now like you've experienced a message from her before, it's never happened quite like that. Never even close. It's never caused pain or any sort of blindness. But as you kind of your vision focuses, your vision just falls on Sif. And you just like can't force yourself to look away from him.
Okay.
Sif, you all do see this, by the way, as Jelenith's head is kind of rocked back for a second, and then after a few moments, she turns and just stares at Sif.
Jelena, are you gonna attack him?
Hang on. Answering a message.
Hang on to what?
And Sif just kind of looks. He's just meeting the stare and is just staring back. It's like, okay, stare at me, I'll stare at you.
Is there anything special that's happening to Sif in my vision? Like, is he glowing? Is it getting blurry? Is there like an aura coming off of him?
You're, Sif, where have you put the bow?
Oh, the bow is strung on my back.
Your eyes are pulled directly to the bow.
Castro will wave his hand in front of
Oh,
Jelena's face.
He's also holding on to one of the crossbow with the other hand. Yeah.
Jelena,
Yeah, okay.
are you okay?
Yeah. I think my neck's might need like a neck rub later or something. 'Cause my neck's kind of like stiff. But hey Sif, what's that on your back?
I got you.
Actually, I was hoping someone of you might be able to tell me what it is. And Sif will unstring it and kind of hold it out in front of him and say, I saw and noticed the runes were very similar to the book. And I got it from the Busy Hammer.
Mind if I take a look?
And he offers it forward. And he offers it forward and says, go ahead, Jonas.
Can I grab the bow?
Yeah.
DM?
As you grab the bow,
Okay.
your hand slides right into the handhold, and you immediately recognize this. This is what you believe. You've never actually seen one in person, but you believe that this is one of the Stormlord's bows from Aranel.
From what?
Aranel? Aranel?
Okay.
Which you would remember is an island southeast of Corvair.
Oh, yes. Okay. Me, the player.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
recognizing what
Yep.
you're talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. Huh. What is this doing here?
I'm not sure. Some traders had brought it in.
What
He
is it?
wasn't
What
sure.
is it?
Every time they tried to string it, actually, so be careful with it. Oh yeah, how did I have it strung on my back? So actually, I would have been holding it with one of my hands.
Yes.
But and points out that the Varric said that anytime it was strung, the bowstring snapped.
DM, can I make a history check?
Please do.
Why is the second number always higher? Every time.
Anytime it's related to Jeleneth's history. Nope. Nope.
Every time.
From what you remember, you're not entirely sure. The elves between your two continents didn't really communicate all that much, but from what you remember, this is a bow that, or one of the bows that would be used by one of the higher ranking noble generals, and has some sort of properties to it.
Hmm. Well, Ketra, since you asked so politely, this is a bow of the Aeronal elves. Um, they live pretty close to where I'm from. I don't know how this got here since I don't know how I got here.
Well,
So,
if it sounds right to me, it sounds like that you don't know how you got here. It doesn't know how it got here, so you should go with it.
yep.
My gift to
So,
you.
I guess it's time to play detective at some point and reverse look up where this came from. That'll be fun. Do you mind if I hold on to this for now, Sif?
It's yours.
And
Cool.
kind of as you accept it and like finally like just weigh it in your hands, you just get this overwhelming cooling sense. And as it fades, this tingle, this spark of electricity just flows through your entire body. All the hair on your arms and legs stands on end, and the bow wood itself seems to shimmer and shift.
I don't think I need that neck massage anymore.
I see.
Uh,
You look to be pretty ecstatic right now.
Yep, this might have now turned into a full body massage. I might need to go find a masseuse. Oh boy.
Oh
That's
my.
the flush I see, and Sif is gonna go and go get something to eat.
Like I know that shock treatment is a thing for muscle relaxing, but I think this just made my body more tense.
Oh yeah,
Um
you're just but at the
yeah.
same time, you're also like ready for anything. You know what I mean? You're just like a predator ready to launch.
All right. So you guys go do whatever you guys need to do. I'm gonna go find a masseuse or something, and then I'll meet you back at Captain Dayan's boat in the docks.
Oh, I thought that was where we were going.
Oh, we have like 7 hours. It's only like noon right now, man.
So is that what you guys are doing?
Yep, Sif is just gonna bide the time and do what he can, listen around, and anybody that he happens to strike up a conversation with, ask if they know any information about Maztica.
You've noticed that the crowd is probably considerably thinned. Um, you're not sure why. Maybe it has to do with someone making someone cry harder. You're not really sure why, but yeah. So as you
Yeah,
guys
the
make
crowd
your
surf.
way towards the dock ward, however, um, Jonathan eventually sees a brothel and heads off in that direction. And we'll say for 2 silver, you can get a full body massage.
Cool.
Massage.
All right.
Eyebrow wiggle.
And then the rest of you make your way to the dock ward and dodging in and out of traffic and all of the many wagons and the two. What are those even? The word is escaping me. I'm sorry. Drays and hire coaches passing by. These two-wheeled mini carriages as they speed past you all.
Rickshaws.
Thank you. As you eventually make your way to the dock ward and to the Howl of the Night. You see a familiar dwarven face who seems to be once again loading supplies up and down the gangplank with several other members of the Howl. And as they see you, they greet you and allow you to come on board, where you do see Captain Dan once more talking with a black-skinned tiefling woman who has these extremely ram-like horns on the side of her head and this crazy top knot that going on.
Dikith,
Yeah, gotcha.
do you see what
What are you saying, Tasha? Let's compare.
I think it's a demon.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I think they might know how to get Elzan back.
This lady knows how to get Eljan back?
Look at her, doesn't she look like a demon?
We're gonna pause for a
She-
second. I'm sorry to pause, guys. Daniel, could you go ahead and just talk to me like Kyle? Because I think something's going on with your audio real quick.
Sure. What are you, what's going on
so
here?
it sounds
You
like
hear
there's
it?
a chopping noise in the background of your audio.
Okay, I was hearing that for other people earlier. Maybe it's something with my...
All right, do you want to
Okay,
go
one
ahead
sec.
and reset for us, and we'll wait for you? Yeah, I think Discord might be having an issue fit. A tissue fit.
Ba-doom.
Just an FYI, Catra. That's a terrible assumption to make.
What?
Just because she doesn't look like your regular other humans or or half elves or whatever, she might know about how to bring people back from the dead.
I mean, that dragon didn't look like a person that we killed. Do you think that could have done it for you?
Yes.
Sorry, then.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna help us anyway.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Do you guys hear me, guys?
Oh, that's
Yep,
much better.
much better.
Much better.
Excellent.
Beautiful,
Much
Daniel.
better. Fantastic.
I'm sorry if you
No.
guys could pick up where you were.
Yeah. Yep.
She might know how to bring people
Thanks,
back
Kevin.
from the dead.
I don't think this random woman in the city is just going to know how to bring our Elzan back.
She's
she
not some
know
random
Elzan?
woman. Look at her. She clearly has some type of like secret magic now.
Katra.
I don't think so.
And at
Katra,
this
do
point,
you
Dan does see you guys aboard, and he starts making his way over. I apologize. Sif, go ahead.
The sister's gonna look at Katra and say, "Katra, you made a woman cry in the portal. How about for right now?
She
you
was
just keep to
already
yourself?
crying. I didn't make
You
anybody
made it
cry.
worse. You made it worse.
You weren't there. You wouldn't know.
The other people at the bar are pretty very vocal about how
There
a
were
man
no
may
other
bring
people
fire
in the
to his
bar.
Ah, good evening. How's it going?
Top
Well,
of the evening, Captain Tayan.
Dan.
I meant to say that I stumbled over my
I apologize.
consonants.
I apologize, Dan.
like
You're all
day
good.
in and day out.
I was still
Yes,
drinking it.
exactly
I
like
still had
that.
liquid in my mouth. Sorry.
Dan. Ah, well,
Dan.
lovely to have you aboard. I would like to introduce you to one of my good friends and my first mate, Damatia Shadowhorn, and the black-skinned tiefling takes a deep bow. And as you take a look at her, you notice that she has several blades just worn across her chest, along her waist, and across her back. She looks like she's prepared for war at any moment. And she says to you in this, I can't do a very good job of it, but this incredibly sexy sounding, seductress voice, she does say, "Good evening. How are you all doing?"
I'm doing great now that you're here.
Fantastic, ma'am. It's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for having us aboard.
Flattery will get you nowhere aboard this ship, but good ship.
I actually have a question.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Do you have any knowledge of how magic works?
Who are you asking, me or Domatia? Because neither of us do. But I do have someone.
Kovash laughs.
I do have someone aboard the ship who does.
Ooh. Might you point them?
One second. How do I say this? Thank you. And you hear Day yell, "Beowulf!" And after a few moments, you see a very skinny figure, and if you would like to explain and describe yourself.
You got it. All right. So he is about 6'5". He looks like he's built, but he is still rather skinny. He walks very straight and very stiff. He has braided, light blonde hair, and the thing that is most striking about him is he wears this really black war paint around his eyes, and he has very light gray eyes to the point where the the iris almost looks like it blends in with the white of his eyes, and all you can see are these little black pupils. And he walks up and stands beside the captain and kind of looks over the rest of you and says nothing but just nods.
Sif, Kovash, give me a history check.
I suck at these.
Is the black paint around the eye or just underneath the eye?
It's around the whole eye.
6.
It's kind of like
a whole out of 6.
Okay,
it's
got it.
straight up black warp, and it goes from like it's all across the eyes and like stretches back to the temples.
Got it.
Yep, this is a big human, and looks similar to where you guys come from. Very similar build, skin coloring.
Oh my
the
god.
war paint, however, throws you off. And the general look of the person, just the hair color, eye color, it's not something you're used to seeing from where you come from. Anyways, Dan turns to, did I say it right? Beowulf?
Bjolf.
Beowulf, got it. Turns to Beowulf and says, the people who've contracted us, Beowulf, have asked about magic. I don't really know anything about it, but if you want to answer any of their questions, that's on you. But these are the people we're going to be working with for the next month and a half. Maybe longer.
Obvious, you just hear like a very deep snort.
And Dan turns
Now,
towards
Captain,
you
I
guys.
have to ask you a question.
I.
Do you mind if I practice my bagpipes on the
No,
way?
Dikith, don't do that.
Oh my god.
I need
What
to
are-
practice.
What are bagpipes?
There are some
And
very
Dikith gets a
strangely
wide grin across his face, and he instantly
Gosh.
whips out his bagpipes.
Katra
Takes
will
a
like
big-
shake his hands and head
How
no.
Bash puts his fingers in his ears.
And
I just take a step closer to Domatia at this point. Just like,
Oh shit! All right. So Bjolf and the rest of you all watch as he pulls out this interesting, just beyond explanation instrument. It just doesn't really make sense. There's some sort of skin on the side with several pipes attached to it, and as he begins blowing into it, you watch as Dikith vanishes, but the bagpipes remain floating in the air. And it lets out this horrendous wailing sound as Dickie hasn't fully gotten a lot of practice on bagpipes yet. Are you trained in bagpipes?
no,
Not
sir.
You are?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. He hasn't had a lot, so you just hear a somewhat beginner-like melody begin to hear or come out of this wailing and screeching and loud, winded instrument. And you see Dan kind of back up for a second and, I would, he kind of waits for you to stop.
You don't like it?
As
No,
you
not even
as
a
you
little
stop
bit.
playing and you reappear, he's like, Wait, it makes you invisible, but not itself?
Yeah, he just
Pretty
bought it.
cool, right?
And you, Bjolf, you see Dan kind of turn to you and raise his eyebrow.
It's a useless skill to me.
It's useless
And
to
since you
everyone
can't
him.
see me, you can pretend I'm not even there.
We'll talk about it. Now, did you have some sort of magical questions? Otherwise, I'm going to let Bjolf get back to his work.
Good Sir Bjolf, what is your extent of knowledge when it comes to the dead?
What?
Getting right to the point there, Katra.
What? I didn't hear the last part of that sentence.
What is your extent
The
of
dead.
knowledge when it comes to the dead?
Bjolf kind of chuckles, and you see the corner of his mouth turns up in a smile, and he says, I have fairly extensive knowledge on the dead. What exactly are you looking to know?
Well, I was looking to find out if there was an actual place that we could summon dead people from.
And would I know that?
What does Katra mean? What are you asking, Steve?
What?
What am I asking?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not fully certain on what the question is. Like, what do you mean?
I was
by
asking if
summon-
there was a certain place that we could summon like dead people from to like talk to them or like kind of commune with them.
Jesus, I don't. Is there a spell like that? I don't think so, unless there's speak with the dead, right? But you need the person
And
for that.
Katra
You need the
like
actual
stares at you
body
with
for
like
that.
bated breath and anticipating
Oh
eyes.
shit! I'm sorry. I moved my mic so that I'm sorry. I don't think so because the only one I can really think of besides like an actual like commune with your god and then asking them for an ability to talk to someone. The only way to do it really is commune with dead, and you need an actual body for that.
Yeah, that's
Correct
what
me
I,
if I'm wrong. Other experienced now D&D players.
I think you do.
yeah, you
Well,
need
no, I
like
know-
a body.
I know that's the. I know that, but I don't think there's anything else. I mean, besides that, there's nothing in a way of just talking to the dead.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah.
So Bjolf kind of looks at you and he laughs and he says, "Unless you can give me a body, then there's no way that I can speak to the dead for you."
Okay. So what about recalling a soul?
Don't think that's possible either.
Not even a little bit? A wee little bit?
Unless, of course, you're talking about raising someone from the dead, in which case, I've done so before. I can do it again.
Give me a religion check, Bjolf.
Religion, you say? Oh, fuck, that's horrible.
Actually, the only thing that you would know of besides like some dark rituals and other things that you would probably prefer to stay away from is something that you can't actually cast. It would be more of an arcane spell called. You would be contacting the other plane and then straight up speaking with that dead person on whatever plane they are, but you
So
would
what
have to know what plane they're on.
Okay, so would I know that that's what the spell is and that I can't do it?
You would just know that there is a spell, but not divine in nature. So
It's
you
not
probably
within the realm of my
yeah,
capability.
exactly.
Alright, so I answer him and I'm like, "Well, I've heard of spells of that nature, but I don't think that I could do them."
Huh. So what type of spells can you work?
And as soon as you say that, he kind of flinches and crosses his arms and he says, "Able to work spells of a divine nature. Beyond that, I don't think you really need to know."
And
Okay.
Sif pipes up and like kind of like you kind of notice he's kind of like looking out to the water and actually kind of like turns around as soon as he hears divine like. And to
Call
whom
that
do you
snort.
serve?
You don't have to answer that question. We like people with mystery.
Helps that I didn't hear a question.
Oh, I sorry. Sif turned and asked, "To whom do you serve?" At the notion of divine.
To which I said, you don't have to answer that question. We like somebody with a bit of mystery.
His mouth kind of sets in a hard line, and he doesn't answer either of you.
Mine wasn't answerable, it was a statement.
I'm aware.
Yes, well, if you're done asking questions of my medic, would you please tell me if you're ready to go or not?
Of course, I will be in contact with your medic.
Are we ready to go?
Guys, are we ready to go?
I'm
All
good
set
wherever
here.
you are.
Fearless leader Dikith, are we ready to go?
And it looks, and it would probably be, yeah, no, not yet. Wasn't there another one of you?
Was there another one of us? Oh, the wee lad. He won't be
No, a
with us.
female, a elven lady.
Elven lady. Was there an elven lady with us? Oh yeah, no, Jelenith. She went to for a massage. I believe she will be here shortly.
All right.
Katra also does like the air quotes when he says massage.
No, wait, wasn't I there the entire time?
No.
Yeah, I thought she linked up with her.
Was this
I did
during
too.
my time?
No,
finding
you're
the
about,
grotto?
you're about to show up now.
Oh, okay.
Like, they split off and went without you while you went off to your massage.
I thought they were looking around to get some last minute like
Apparently not.
fruits and stuff.
They went straight to
But
the
okay.
ship. Well, yeah, we're pretty set to leave. We just needed to grab more supplies, so we've already gotten everything ahead of schedule. So whenever you're ready, we can head underway towards Maztica.
Well, we'll be ready whenever Jonathan gets here, and whenever
Jonathan, at
you're...
this point, you would be walking up to the docks near the Howl of the Wind, Howl of the Night, and you can
I will
board.
hail my friends.
And you all see Jonathan call up to you as she walks up the gangplank.
Speak of the devil.
And we're going to pause here, actually, because I'm going to do a few things. So, out of character and pausing the game, everybody who's watching may have noticed that we've added a new character tonight. Lainey, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and say anything about you, where people might be able to find you, or whatever. We all did that in the original episode. That's all on you. If not, it's cool.
Oh, I mean, I don't have like a Twitch handle. I do have a Twitter. I am at Cornfield Spy. I draw things. I make stupid commentary on life, and I play loads of D&D. So
Hell yeah.
happy to be here.
And then we're gonna go because we actually lost our first one. When we come back, if everybody wants to do theirs, we'll get that set up, and then we'll also do their character descriptions for you, Bjolf, so that you can get an eye of what they look like.
Hell yeah.
And then we'll also do that because, like I said, the first episode got cut out. So we're going to take, let's say, a 15-minute break and get back here at 9:40. Is that 15 minutes? Yeah, I can do math.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right.
Sounds good.
Dope.
All right, and welcome back. I just wanted to because this is I'm gonna admit again another mistake that I made earlier. For those of you who did watch originally, we did have a first episode up that didn't save. I just want to introduce myself again. I'm Kyle. You can find me on Twitch at the Banana Kyle. Kyle is spelled weird. It's Kiel. You can find me on Twitter with the same username, and I stream various of things, but I'll be here most of the time. And I'll be DMing this group, which we call Dikith Band of Merry Men, through Wizards of the Coast, Tales of the Yawning Portal, which you guys probably figured out from watching, Set in the Forgotten Realms. I just wanted to bring up again that we are all less worried about the rules and pay attention to story building and narrative creation and relationships and things like that. So if I rule on something, that's the way it's going to be because that's how we like to have fun. Further, Forgotten Realms is a setting. I've changed a lot of shit in it. To be fair, a lot of it is not easily found, so to run this in Forgotten Realms, I've made it kind of my own thing. I'm also really extremely lenient as a DM when it comes down to the story building. So, like I said, if I decide one way, you guys can ask me about it on my Twitter or here, but that's how we're gonna go again, and that's the way it's gonna be, I guess. But as for me, like I said, I stream a variety of games, mostly League, but I have been playing Mountain Blade Bannerlords lately on the Banana Kyle on Twitch. I've been playing D&D for as long as I can remember. My grandparents introduced me at a very young age and let me play as soon as I could basically understand the game. And yeah, if you have questions or anything, you can find me on Twitter at the Banana Kyle _ between the banana and Kyle. Um, who wants to go next?
All right,
Nice.
everybody. I'm Austin, and I've been role playing for around 10, 11 years, and officially playing D&D for about 6. And I am playing the Knight of Tempest Sith, a mysterious warrior hailing from the cold north along the spinal world. Found in the snow, his life began as nothing, and he fought his way up with nothing but his brute strength. And nearly half a century later, he found his supposed end where it began, in the snow, but away from where he had become king, one would say. Imprisoned shortly after he woke, however, he waited in Kunjakar for the right moment to arrive. When it did, with the assistance of a fellow prisoner, freedom was the prize for both. Now, with a new band of adventures he's found a fondness for, he's taken oaths and seeks answers for which he doesn't have a question for. I myself am an avid Dark Souls player as well as League of Legends, and you can watch me play the former on my Twitch channel when you can, or you might even find me exploring the galaxy on No Man's Sky. Tom?
I'm Don. I've been playing video games as long as I can remember. Playing D&D for around 5 years. I play Kovash, the half-elf barbarian. Born to a tribe in the north in Icewind Dale. He lost his tribe when he was 17, but made a new one from those he defeated in single combat in service to his childhood friend and now king. However, a few years ago, the king betrayed him and his tribe, so now he's looking for his tribe who might be alive. The party got mixed up with Kovash when he escaped the dungeons in Kundrakar with Sif. And so now he has to try and reconcile his dark past as he tries to move on past it and get his revenge. You can find me over at the Illuminati. I stream mostly Overwatch or Warzone, but I'm thinking I might get some other stuff going soon here. That's it for me.
I guess I'll go next. My name is Kevin. I've been playing D&D since high school. Been on and off over the past decade or so. Kind of really got back into D&D with the 5th edition stuff, so been really enjoying this. I played a character, Jelenef. She is a wood elf from the continent of Corvair. So for those of you who know your D&D lore, this is a fun place for me to be. So Jelenef's her whole goal is to essentially find her way back to Corvair. Some events occurred, and she somehow ended up on the Sword Coast. She's made her way up and down the coast, just trying to find ways back home. But as a part of the Primeval Guardian Order, she's been tasked with fighting corruption and saving nature. So while she's trying to find her way home, might as well take care of some of them corrupted trees that are growing out. I do have a few social media stuff, but they're not quite set up yet for any kind of streaming platform. So I will give those out when I get updated on that. And that's it for me.
Hey there, I'm Steve. I enjoy a variety of hobbies. Most of them are gaming, everything from board games to like video games. Um, I've been playing D&D for about 10 years, give or take a year. I argue a lot with, however, but it's been about 10. Wherever you can search a user handle, I am Craving Phoenix. I mostly stream like action adventure games or RPGs. Um, I currently am playing Katra Langwin in Dikith's Merry Men. He's a happy-go-lucky human guy who is about 5'11", and he studies sorcery at his school. He's really, really talented at the dark arts, but doesn't really understand like why everybody shies away from them. So he kind of keeps it a secret. But he kind of applied for a leave from the university to go on field research, hint hint, to like research like the dark arts. He met up with his mentor Elzan, who essentially told him he could sign off on his field research. And then Elzan unfortunately met tragedy very recently, after leading an expedition into a adventure. And so Katra is kind of caught between letting him stay dead or trying to find a way to resurrect him. And that's what I've got for you.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel. I'm a lifetime gamer, but I only just got into D&D about a year and a half ago. I'll be playing the role of Elmir Dikuth tonight. Dikith is a charismatic, oftentimes clueless half-elf from a small farming village outside of Daggerford. He grew up hearing tales of his mother's daring adventures, and upon the death of his father, set out to make a name for himself. After recently losing his friend and mentor Alzan, Dikith suddenly finds himself as the face of our little ragtag group.
Awesome. And unless you needed to say anything else, Lainey?
Nope.
All right, that's all of us then. For the most part, though, I believe that I myself we're starting to build this up, so you're going to find most of our stuff starting to appear here at New Platinum Content as well. So shout out to this, and you can find a lot more or ask us questions here, and we'll be setting up a lot more stuff based around that. So let us know what you guys like, what you don't like, and please give us a follow and share us around, please. That'd be awesome. Be mighty cool. Otherwise,
Comment, share.
what's that? Like,
Like,
comment,
comment,
share,
share.
hit that bell. What's
I
it?
want to
What
make
is
it.
it?
I want to make an ad for us. That's the meme format from Dazed and Confused with the guy in the car.
Yes.
Did you follow us? No.
Yes.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Oh, make it. We need to do it. All right. So, jumping back in. Jelenith, you just walked up the gangplank of the Howl of the Night. You do see the rest of your companions, sir, kind of semi-circled around Captain Dan Mornstar, a black-skinned female tiefling, and Bjorn.
Be off.
Bjolf. Why? That's gonna throw me off so many times. I'm gonna say Bjorn
Sorry.
all the time. I'm gonna say Bjorn all the time. I don't know why, but it's gonna happen.
Watch Vikings.
For real, why do you say Bjorn all the time?
Vikings, bro. Have you watched Vikings? Cause yeah.
Nope.
Okay, that's why. Bjolf. I apologize, Bjolf. Bjolf.
I see that Dikith has shown off his bagpipes.
Yes,
Yeah,
they're very
Dickie,
interesting.
those are really annoying.
So, and you see Captain Dan rub his hands. He's kind of seems to have some sort of air of excitement. You're all here, Does that mean you're ready to go? We need to leave? Go? Ready?
Did everybody get everything that they needed to get?
I'm good.
I
Yup.
mean, everybody talked about. Okay. Well, I think we're
Aye.
good to.
Tell your men to
Everybody
pull
talked
anchor,
about what,
Captain.
Katra?
It's not important. We're good to go.
All right. So as you all give your agreement, Dan nods to, excuse me, Shadowhorn, who begins shouting out commands to people. You see the dwarf, the one who you had talked to a couple of times, walk up, and Captain Dan turns to you all and he says, this gentleman here will be pretty important for, I'm assuming, our travel here and there. This is my quartermaster, Irag Grimtor. And the dwarf nods his head.
I thought it was a tabaxi.
The tabaxi is someone else.
Oh, okay. I second the tabaxi.
No, the tabaxi is Climber. He's kind of my scout. And you see him point up, and you all look up to the crow's nest where you do see a familiar tabaxi kind of hanging over, just watching you all.
Why do you guys call him Climber?
That's his name, actually. His full name is Left-Handed Climber.
So what
What a
does
cool
he
name.
do?
Well, if you notice next time he comes down, you'll see that his entire left arm, it seems to be double the size of his right arm.
That,
Appropriately named.
that seems actually really cool, but it doesn't answer what he does.
I told you he keeps eye out.
Ah, okay.
Wait, is that his name because his left arm is big, or is his left arm big because
You know, it was a
That's-
weird name, and I didn't ask him about it.
That's probably a good idea. You know, he's got a very big arm.
Katra, you made a woman cry this morning.
I did not. She was already crying.
you
Dan
made
kind
her
of looks
cry
at you.
worse?
No, I started talking to her and she stopped. She calmed her crying down a bit and then she cried a little bit worse.
No,
But
she definitely ran away
technically-
after you talked to her.
I mean, duh, we had a harsh conversation.
And the
Right.
guy that was
After you
drawing
chased
ran
away
away
half
too.
the bar.
At any rate, let's not start another one of these on the deck. Let's at least wait until we get down
Yes,
below.
Yeah.
Grimtor will show you to where you'll be staying. So if you follow him
Grimtor?
below decks.
Oh, Grimtor.
The quartermaster.
Yes.
Yeah, Grimtor. I just say Crimter. I'm like, who's Crimter? I wasn't listening very well. Sorry.
It's alright. And Grimtor turns around and begins heading down deck.
I'm gonna send a message to Jalaneth because I'm a little uncertain about how this works, and I'm gonna point to Jalaneth and I'm gonna say, so if we have problems, the quartermaster is the person we talk to.
No.
So then, what does a quartermaster do?
Quartermaster essentially tracks everything on the ship from supplies to, well, mostly supplies.
Got it. Thanks.
Talk to the first mate if you have a problem.
And as you guys are finishing this conversation, you reach the second level of the ship, and he takes you to a kind of curtained off, like at the front part of the ship section that has been nicely arranged for you all to kind of set up and stay. And
Is this first floor, second floor?
it's the first floor below the main deck.
Okay. Yeah, first floor down.
Yep. And the dwarf turns and says, "If you need anything, let me know. Food, water. We have an abundance." But
How about names? I know your name, and I know Climber's name and the captain's name, but who's the name of the tieflings? Is that what they're called?
the dark-skinned lady is Damatia Shadowhorn.
Okay.
I'm,
And then the other one who looks like they're dead but not dead.
I almost did it again. Bjolf.
Got it.
Did you ever give
Bjolf.
anybody question for you, Laney? Sorry, I'm gonna murder your name for a long time with Bjolf. It's gonna be a while. Did you give anybody your
Bjolf.
last name or?
I did not.
All right.
No.
Yep. And then he would just say, Bjolf is our medic surgeon in case we need it. You have Damatia Shadowhorn. She is the first mate. You have me, Arag Grimtor. You know, left-handed climber. There's also Gray. He's kind of the captain's personal body man. You'll see him. He's a big dragonborn. Anybody else is just basically regular crew members.
I start
Coolio.
looking for the body
He
man.
he just starts naming people off. Telfin Sitova, Marcus Crestil, Valdra Barrelhelm, Calliope Tanglestrand.
I don't really care about
There's
the others.
Razortail. Who am I?
Razortail.
He's another tiefling fellow. You should see his tail. Pretty interesting.
Does it look like razors?
It's pretty sharp.
Sif's gonna walk away from the conversation, go find a place to lay down, open the book, and play with the cat.
Okay.
Oh, Jelenuff is like strictly intrigued in getting all the names.
Okay. All right.
Dikith is intrigued
But,
by the
like-
cat
like,
as
just-
well.
So yeah, so you'll see he'll tell you that there's two human men. You got Talfin and Marcus Cresthill. You've heard of Gray, and he's a dragonborn. You don't know who is who, but you've heard Voldra, Barrel
That's the one I couldn't get down fast enough.
Calliope, Tanglestrand,
Wait, there's a Calliope.
Razortail.
Sorry, not in game, out of game. There's a Calliope.
Yep.
Oh.
Hold on. Gotta open the rest of my notes. Let's see. Who else was on the Howl? Yeah, you have Tanika Swiller. And there was Ranafel Summergale. And you just hear him just listing off these people. The rest you kind of lose track on because he kind of doubles back and he starts explaining like who people are. Yeah, you have Talfin and Marcus. They're like the humans. There's a few other dwarfs. There's Valdra.
I definitely head to like the hammocks and like.
Yeah, he just keeps
Plot
going
it.
on. I can give you the rest of the information later, Kevin.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then what are the rest of you doing? Sif, you're playing with Ember.
Kovash is
Almost
doing
definitely.
what he always does.
Katra is sleeping.
Look for a fight.
I'm playing with
Oh.
the cat as well.
Yes. Kovash, you're looking for the body man.
Katra's not
Yeah,
sleeping.
I'm
He's
also
just
looking
relaxing.
for familiar faces like normal. This is the kind of work my people would do, but I
Right.
don't expect any results there.
Excuse me. You do walk up to the main deck again, and you do just kind of glancing around. You notice back by the wheel of the ship, this tall, lumbering brute of a dragonborn, and what appears to originally have been silver scales have now turned to this just dull gray shine to them. And he has this giant hammer on his back, and he seems to have his arms folded across his chest. And even at a relaxing pose, his bulging arms are just rippling as he's standing there, kind of getting his legs ready. As you all do suddenly feel the lurch as the ship does begin to take into motion. What are you doing, Kovesh?
Oh, I wasn't like gonna like go talk to him. I just wanted to see what kind of a bodyguard the captain had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and he kind of eyes you up and gives you one of that upswing head nods.
I return it with a down.
All right. And he just keeps nodding and looks back at the captain, and his eyes continue to wander over the deck. Anybody else doing anything?
I have 100% sequestered myself to the bottom of the deck. Like, I went below decks as soon as everyone was done talking and we took off.
I assume that's kind of where you like hang out, chill.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Got you. So yeah, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, we can go ahead and fast travel a little bit here. The seas, after you guys have settled in and either rested and taken your turns coming above and whatever it may be, the seas seem pretty calm, and the wind is very nice and billowing in a direction that seems to be pulling you along at a very steady rate. There's many, like I said, you guys are leaving the harbor again, and if for you, Kovesh, as you came back up, you do notice that immediately you're like almost stopped again as the long line of ships coming in and out, waiting for the harbor wall. What is that called? Not a harbor wall, because they actually have what you call it set up. The breaking walls where they allow ships to come in and everything, and you do make your way out. But the ocean seems extremely calm, and your days pretty much pass by uneventfully. So, is there anything you guys are gonna do in your downtime?
Actually, if it's possible, I would like to ask Shar about what had been asked previously. I believe he said something about asking whether we could summon people from the dead to speak to them.
So, is there any specific way that you would set this up or anything?
I mean, I would definitely if I have a room to myself.
Oh, you definitely do. It seems that
Okay,
people
so-
don't necessarily enjoy being in your presence.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, I would definitely set up in my room, probably just kneel on the floor and assume sort of like a meditation sort of pose. And just kind of
Oh my
speak to her
goodness.
mentally and be like,
Stop. Sorry, not you. Them typing in chat.
oh, I know. I can hear the whooping.
Yes.
And just hear them. You were there when they asked, do you know anything of this?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Oh yeah. I don't know what my is, but we're gonna give this a go. All right. Oh, it's not bad. Fuck yeah. Oh fuck.
And as you begin your intense meditation, you kind of feel the room immediately darken because it cools as well, and there's like a singular bead of sweat that you feel come from right next to the side of the center of your forehead, and it just slowly drips down. And as it gets to your eyebrow, you kind of have to open your eyes, and as you do, there's just a simple hooded, like just a hooded shoulder and up visage there, whatever, staring back at you, and you hear just a deep, not a deep, I'm sorry, I misspoke. You hear a very, very bassy but raspy, sensual, dark voice that whispers out to you and says, "There are many ways to speak and talk and touch with the dead."
Says what?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic totally did not pick that up.
I was gonna say I'm glad I'm the only one who that I lost audio there for a
I
second.
apologize.
Oh, that's nothing. Okay.
Nope, my mic totally didn't pick it up. Apparently,
It was
it's
so beautiful you can't hear it.
like a whispery voice. So imagine that, but I have to speak loud enough for my mic. There are many ways to speak, talk, touch, and interact with the dead. I don't believe they're in your power at the moment.
And he sighs and gets up.
And as soon as you like get up, and like the like singular candle you have that had been almost guttered out just springs back into life. Anything else from you?
No. Although I do believe someone else is looking for me.
Ah, yes. So, this would probably be like another hour later. Katra, you've been guided to the lowest portion of the deck. And when you get there, you actually notice that this part of the ship does have a divider with a door separating one half of the ship. And it seems like this might be where you've been pointed towards.
Pointed toward, no one like actually like brought me down here or showed me to it.
They seemed like they didn't want to go down.
Okay. So I will knock on the door, but not like in a magical way.
Yeah, so about an hour after you've done this, whatever you've been doing in the process, you do hear a slight knock on the door.
I go to open the door and I look at who meets me there and I just say, "What?"
Hey, I was. Did you know no one on the ship kind of likes you?
I'm very aware of that. Yes.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering about you.
What's me? What do you wonder?
Well, earlier when I asked about speaking with the dead, you seemed a little like intrigued-y. I don't really find a lot of people who is like intrigued-y about like dead things. I mean, I like dead things, but like a lot of other people don't like dead things. So I guess I was just wondering, like, you mentioned that you liked a god. So like, is it a god of like dead things? Do you enjoy dead things?
He laughs. He says, "I would not say that I enjoy dead things, but I have had my dealings with them." Yes.
Uh-huh. Is that why no one likes you?
Jesus.
I'm not sure why no one likes me. but
You, you don't even have like the tiniest clue.
saved their lives more than once, so no.
Huh. You're not really good with social cues either, are you?
No, I'm not. What do you want here?
I was just looking to get to know you. We're gonna be on the boat for like 40 days. So like
Why
some
then why are none of your fellows coming to know me as well? Why is it just you?
cuz they're a little bit awkward and weird. It might take them some time, but trust me, they'll make their way here.
You seem kind of awkward to me as well.
Me? No, I'm not awkward.
Is there anything
I like to read a lot, and that doesn't really involve talking to people. So like I might not be very good with talking to people either. So maybe we could practice talking to each other.
sure? I can't say that I'm a big fan of talking.
Me
But
either. I like reading. I like reading too.
someone who
Way more than talking.
for someone who doesn't enjoy talking, you talk quite a bit.
And somewhere, you just hear ooh.
If you don't talk a lot, you let others control the conversation. Um, Not that I like controlling the conversation. It's just I venture around with a lot of people who just shouldn't be in control of that conversation. Know what I mean?
Sure. Um, is there anything else you need, or can I go back to what I was doing?
Um, do you stay down here by yourself doing what you were doing a lot?
For the most part, yes. And yes, unless they need me to heal them, then I stay down here.
So what is it that you do down here in the dark by yourself?
It's none of your business.
No, but I'm just curious to know.
Curiosity killed the cat, and I shut the door.
Ha!
Um, okay, so that's great and all. If you ever want to like play with magic together, we can totally compare.
You're just talking outside the door?
Yep.
You hear no response.
Is silence a form of assent in this case?
Say what?
Is silence a form of assent in this case?
No.
I mean, there's no
Hear
one there
nothing.
to
You hear
say no. I'm gonna assume yes. I will see you later.
Hear no response from the door.
All right.
And I'll like go find Dikith.
Sif during his downtime will actually just kind of go over combat maneuvers on the deck. You know, get used to the armor and all that such. Keeping sane over this large body of water, considering this is actually his first time ever sailing
Yeah,
over a large body of water.
and it's
Anyone will notice that he stays as far away from the edges as possible and is almost below deck exclusively, except when he's not training up on deck.
it's not the greatest experience at first. It takes a good while to get used to being aboard a large ship that has the ocean moving it. Um, it seems to you like that it'll be hard, but before long you just devote it to being another combat maneuver. And after you realize this, it doesn't take you long before you kind of start getting the hang of it. Dikith, go ahead and give me another performance check. But meanwhile, you do have Katra coming to find you. So after
Kovash is gonna spend most of his free time working out, getting used to his now 60-year-old body.
All right. And after 10 minutes or so, Katra, you do come back to Dikith as he's like, ooh, excuse me, as he's like starting to get back into his bagpipes.
Dikith, stop that. No one likes it. I have something for you.
What we have, Katra?
So that like weird guy with the black stripe across his eyes,
Yes.
he's super weird and no one likes him.
Sounds very familiar.
I know, right? He's just like me. He also doesn't have social skills either. Um, so um, I was like talking to him, and he kind of alluded to being always alone in a dark place, and being kind of lonely. Like the people here don't talk to him unless they need something from him, which is usually like healing, and then he just like does it. And I guess like he goes back to doing whatever he does in a dark, lonely place with his god, whatever, you know. I don't judge, but so I was trying to like brighten his spirits, and I was like, I was coming to visit him, and then he was just like, well, no, none of your other friends have come to visit you, but visit me, and I'm like, they'll get there, right? So I'm letting you know you should go visit him.
Like right this second.
I mean, probably not right this second. I probably a little bit much. He definitely like closed the door on me. So, but he did agree to hang out with me later tomorrow.
I'll be there.
You're gonna hang out with us? I think we should like spar, but with magic.
Bar
Spar
with magic.
with magic.
Why?
Because have you ever been on a ship for a long time? We've been on a ship for a long time with each other. There's usually nothing to do on a ship for a long time with each other. That's why he's so antisocial at the bottom of the boat.
I have a flute. He could play the flute.
But what if he's not good with magic item or like items?
I mean, you just blow into the flute. You don't have to be good at it.
I don't think you've actually heard yourself play the bagpipe.
I sound great.
I mean, if by
And
great you
it's
mean
like,
you took a cat and shoved it into a bag and then like beat it with sticks, like that's kind of what you sound like. But
and it's not like
somehow
you
worse.
guys can even hear me. I'm invisible.
We can't see you. Our ears still work, sadly.
What?
Yeah, our ears still work. We can hear you. You sound terrible.
I don't believe you.
But I'm just letting you know, as your merry men, I'm the only one that will ever tell you. Everyone else would just like duck and shy away and put up with it. I would only tell you that it sounds very terrible, and I think you should like go to like you should take a class or something,
I'm shocked.
or practice alone in like a grove where no one else can hear you until you're ready to show other people.
But we're on a boat, Katra.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that right now.
I'll take that into consideration.
So you'll go visit the weird one downstairs? I didn't really catch his name. I think it starts with a B.
You might be correct on that one, Katra. But yeah, let's go hang out with him tomorrow.
Dope. I think I'm gonna cast like darkness on somebody on some part of the boat just to see what happens.
Oh my god.
Cut some people's vision out.
I don't think that's smart.
Okay, I'll
But
wait
if
till
you
like
do, I recommend the left arm.
you said the left what?
The left arm guy.
Oh. Oh, that's really rude though. We'll wait till day 12.
Specifically plan it out. All right. So is there anything you guys are gonna do, or are you guys just kind of chilling?
All right. Around the third or fourth day, I go and find.
Wait, so
Arid.
apparently someone wants to do over the night, so I will get back to you in a second, Jelena. I apologize.
That's fine.
So unless anybody else is, we're gonna kind of passage over till deep into the night. Sif, you do make your way up to the deck of the ship. You do see a couple members of the ship that you hadn't seen before. A couple, two elves that seem to be somewhat related. A halfling, a dwarf, and another tiefling.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of for this one, I'm gonna actually kind of head up into the upper deck. I can't remember what it's called. The area
At the front?
wheel is.
At
And the back.
Okay. Is that the aft?
That is the aft.
That is the.
So you head to the aft, and you do see, as you get up there, you do notice this tall, hulking, larger than you, dragonborn.
Sif is just gonna kind of stop, stare in amazement for a single moment, and just say in flat out, in complimenting tone, "They said you were big. I actually was expecting smaller."
And you actually do see him kind of throw his head back and laugh out loud. Ha 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 ha! Ah, I'm Gray.
Sif,
Nice to
you
meet
don't
you,
mind
sir.
if I meditate up here for a little bit, would you?
If you don't mind me standing here, I don't really move much, but I won't bother you.
I won't bother you. And he'll kind of bring his gauntleted arm and just kind of bash it against his chest a little bit in a salute a little bit before finding a nice spot to actually kind of get into a cross-legged notion. And he's gonna take out the little red chest piece and the out of the breastplate and put it down in front of him and put both of his one hand on each of his knees and close his eyes and solemnly think of Tempest and the power he bestows as I attempt to find the balance on this moving ship.
All right. And as you begin to do so, is there anything specific you're looking for or asking, or are you just,
He's seeking the rules.
huh? Is there anything you're specifically saying out loud or thinking, or are you just,
I seek the rules of combat, the laws of which I'm ignorant.
ooh, okay, give me 2 seconds, please. I apologize.
Not a problem. I thought about this one for a while.
Yeah, that's also something I wasn't ready for, but that's fine.
Payback.
Well, there's actually there's an obnoxiousness to this because you'll find out in a second.
Uh-oh.
So after a few moments, you ask this question and you feel nothing immediately change. And you kind of feel like at first you're not going to receive any kind of answer at the moment. And You kind of are literally about to get up, and when you hear a voice deep in the back of your head, my orders, simple, direct. Hear them, understand them, follow them, or be thrust from my society. 1. And as he says the number 1, you feel like a post is driven into the back of your mind. Not painful, it's just an extreme amount of pressure, and you feel it like driven into your brain. It feels like it's being pierced through as he says 1. Always and forever be fearless. 2. Oof, another nail pounding into the back of your head. Never turn away from a fight. Never turn your back on an honorable enemy. 3. Poof. And this one, it feels different from the first 2. It does actually bring you pain, and you kind of arch back as you just feel your whole spine kind of just jolt forward, and you hear an echo just ring out across your mind. Obey the rules of war. And as you kind of open your eyes, you see Gray kind of staring at your face. You okay?
Oh, yeah, just got into a what do you want to say? A headbutting battle with Tempest, I think.
Ah, Tempest.
I'm fine.
You follow the foe hammer?
I serve under
And
him,
he
and
grabs
he's
your-
like strained right now.
He grabs your forearm and he yanks you to your feet. And Sif, I don't think ever in your life you felt like a paper doll. But at this moment, you are literally yanked like you weigh nothing off your feet. And you kind of set back down on your feet, and you look up once again at this taller Dragonborn, and he's got a smile on his face. I'm a follower of the Foehammer myself.
I can tell as he's just still, as you said, just kind of still contemplating the fact that he was on the ground just a second ago, and now he's here. That just, and he actually even looks back at where he was sitting or resting for a moment, just kind of points back, and is just like, I swear I'm not used to someone being bigger than me.
Most people never get over it. Don't worry. And he kind of reaches behind his leather jerkin, and he pulls out a chain, and he dangles it at you, and you see a symbol of an upright flaming sword. And he puts it back.
Well, my good sir. And Sif will kind of flip the cloak aside a little bit to reveal the 2 longsword handles before he's going to draw the one from Kunjakar, and kind of hold it out a little bit and say, look closer at your emblem. Look at this blade.
And he leans in. Whoa. Are you some sort of knight of his?
I've taken my first, and I hope to take a few more old soon.
Well,
But
I'm glad to meet you. It's good to have a Knight of Tempest aboard the Howl of the Night.
it's good to be aboard of Howl of the Knights. Hopefully soon, sometime, we'll let the Foehammer see our blades clash. He enjoys a good spar.
Hopefully against an equal enemy.
Aye. And he's gonna reach out to kind of give another shake, and before long, then head off.
And
continue.
not even trying, you're like, ooh, ow, my wrist hurts. All right. And you kind of let go early. And he nods his head and you head off. Is there anything else that you wanted to do?
Well, I'm gonna make sure I got the chest piece off the ground
Yep.
and put that back in my breastplate and sheathe the blade. Other than that, I'm gonna head back down to my place, unless I happen to see the other person who spoke of the divine, but I'm assuming probably not.
That's me.
Bjolf, are you around? Are you top deck at night? What are you doing?
Yeah, I would have wandered top deck at some point during the night, just because he gets restless, so he walks around the top deck just to stretch his legs.
All right, high or low?
On the very top.
No. Low or high for this dice roll I'm about to make?
Oh, high.
All right. You notice one of the companions, when you're stretching your legs, is currently talking to Gray, the large body man of your captain. You see the whole thing kind of go down, and if you want to interact, otherwise, Sif, as you're about to head back down, you do see Bjolf.
When I do, I'm going to kind of stop, take a moment to think over the exact words before I'm going to kind of go over towards them. I'm gonna keep the nice berth at a respectful berth at a sense, and kind of keep my hands at the sides a second before I kind of go and start to unbuckle and unsheath or undo one of the long swords at my side, and I'm going to just hold it in one hand, offer it forward, and say, "I seek a spar."
Yeah, the second you start going for your weapon, Bjolf immediately unsheaths his and has it in his hand. But as you say, you look for a spar, he kind of relaxes, and he's like, "So just a friendly fight then?"
You spoke of the divine, and when I asked, you seemed not to want to respond. So if you're going to get to know, well, at least from who I follow, the blade is one way. I meant no disrespect, of course.
And you see this, like, the only way to describe it is a crazed grin. And he looks at you, and the pupil inside of his gray iris goes completely black. And he says, "So you're looking to fight me then?"
All right. You do see that upon drawing their sword, in the darkness, and it actually seems to, for some reason, be harder to tell. But from what you can tell, this blade that this person is wielding is gorgeous.
Now, having actually undone the normal longsword, not knowing what anyone was using, and having two on the side, actually is going to kind of then go and put it onto the deck before he's going to unsheath his blade.
Shit, are we doing this?
The question is, do you know the rules, or do you have your own that you follow?
Depends. Are you looking to die, or are you looking to just spar?
Well, if I was looking to die, I probably would have gone for a stab at first, as opposed to a hello.
Why don't we fight until unconsciousness?
I think my friend Kovac would like that idea. If that is how it should be, then it shall be.
I make an attack?
For the purposes of this, unless you guys really want to go through with a one-on-one battle, I highly doubt y'all are gonna just start blowing shit.
I use Channel Divinity.
Yeah, I don't think you're
automatically
gonna do that.
crit it.
So, for the purposes of this, why don't both of you just give me a general Yeah, let's just give me a general D20 with, yeah, just give me a general D20 right now.
Boop.
Oof.
Did it?
Um, so for the purposes of this, you clash. You guys seem even at first. Laney, Bjolf. That's a first. Bjolf, okay. Bjolf, your clash, and you notice that the fighting style immediately as you begin to parry and strike back and forth is similar to areas that you've been around in your life. However, Sif, as you do begin fighting this person, it seems like they're having an off night as you begin immediately taking advantages of slight here and there. And after a few, maybe a minute or two of contested battle, it seems that Sif gains the upper hand with a quick parry riposte and holds the sword to your throat.
Shit. Hold on. Can I just guiding bolt him real quick?
To this point, nobody had used magic. It had been a simple sword fight.
Dirty.
But if you really want to, you can.
I mean, he has a sword to my neck, man.
Oh,
Dirty,
no,
I like it.
I assume he pulls it back after, like, winning the blow.
Okay, guiding bolt.
Right?
Guiding bolt in.
Sif,
All right.
You're not being threatening, right?
Nope.
You win
Just-
the blow, and you're like, all right.
After getting to the position of holding the sword to blade, just pausing for a split moment,
Yeah.
then taking normal stance and
Okay.
relaxing.
Do you still guiding bolt then?
Okay, no.
Okay.
But is it his turn or mine?
I assume that this would have been the end of the combat. You both are panting, breathing heavily. It
I
was
mean, I'd like to take a swing at him. If not guiding bolt, I'd like to take a swing at him.
an actual swing. Go for it.
Okay. Do
Or
that.
guiding bolt. It is your character. It's your
No, but-
choice.
Be the
How do
character.
I
No. Hey, Laney, Kovash in a rage attacked Sif, and he literally looked at him like, "Really?"
Yeah, do what you believe he would do. I'm not
Okay,
stopping you from anything.
And then plus, fuck. How much do I add with my sword? Is it
I don't believe the sword actually.
plus what to hit? That's all I'm asking.
Oh, are you actually swinging with the sword?
Strength plus
sword?
proficiency if you're
Yeah,
proficient
so
with
just
it.
+1 from the sword, plus your strength, plus proficiency.
Okay. All right.
So it should be 3 plus your strength.
Okay.
We'll set that up, I'm sorry, on your character sheet so you can just roll it.
So that would be a 15.
And that's with the +1 on top of that?
Yeah.
Oof. I do not believe a 15 hits you.
I am the big 20.
Yeah, so Sif, as you kind of go back into your ready stance, you kind of duck quickly out of the way as a long sword slices through the air over your head. And what is your response? Are you guys, what is your response?
Sorry, I unplugged my mic on accident. Sif is gonna kind of like watch the blade, kind of look back at him, and just kind of. All right, I'll take that as you want to go again.
Swung first. Yes, I'm willing to go.
Then let's go.
All
And
right.
he will return a go.
For the sake of expediency, we're going to say that you guys spend however long that it is that you guys want. Nice. This next bout, easily taken advantage of. Sif, you lose. You're able to quickly take care as he seems to lose his balance on the ship when he goes to strike you, and it seems to you deflect the sword aside, and scraping up, you bring your sword exactly as he did to his neck.
Can I just like throw a guiding bolt at him in anger?
Damn!
I'm sorry.
You won this one. You're still angry?
I won? I thought
Yeah. No,
I thought
so
he had the sword to my neck.
no. He literally in front of you as you guys go to clash again. He seems to slip and lose balance with his strike, and you're able to deflect it aside and easily bring your sword along his armored arm and up into his right at his throat.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay. I was like, damn, she won guiding bolt.
Fuck you.
So yeah, Sif, you have been
that was a
bested.
misstep.
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, Sith's just gonna kind of while he's down there. That was a misstep.
Yes. Missteps can kill you if you're not careful.
Yes, well, and he's gonna kind of brush at the armor as he gets up. I'm still getting used to the whole set.
That sounds like a useless excuse to me. And he sheaths his sword and starts to walk below deck.
It was a good fight then. Bjolf. And I actually think Sif would say it properly.
Oh yeah.
And he stops and looks back at you.
I'm Sif if you care. I'll see you later then.
See you later, Sif.
And he's going below deck to go, and he's actually more wounded about the wrist, hurting like hell. Fucking Gray has one hell of a right hand.
So yeah, you both return to your rooms, contemplating what occurred just now, going over your decisions, what happened in each of the spars, and eventually you both find your way to sleep. Especially even you, Bjolf, for the first time, for some reason, as soon as you kind of just sit back in your bunk, you just nod off into a deep slumber. And the days roll by. I believe that Jeleneth would have liked to have done something as a couple days went by.
Yes, because it has occurred to Jeleneth that by about the third day, we haven't told the captain where in Maztica we wanted to go.
Right. And I would also like to ask you a question. What have you done with the bow?
I would have mostly just kept it on my in my bag
Okay.
or on my back possibly. I don't know if I can stick that in the bag or not.
It
Probably
is
not.
unstrung still, isn't it?
Yeah, you notice that like no matter what you do, you can't seem, or unless you try to. Have you tried to string it?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's
It-
gonna be kind of awkward because it's really hard to find a place to keep it. But as you notice that, like as the days roll by, your vision just keeps drawing back to it.
Fun. All right, I'll have to figure out what to do with that at some point. But I was originally, after about the third or fourth day, I was going to go find Eric Grimtor, Dwarf Quartermaster.
All right. Easily enough, as he spends most of his time on the same level as you, where your setup is. He has his own like little table area set up with many different locked up boxes and chained to the wall, and supplies and a bunch of just papers all around him. And he kind of looks up from his work. Aye.
Hey, Eric. So you know how we paid your captain and the crew to go to Maztica? We didn't tell you where Maztica we needed to go,
I
but I
think.
do have a map
Oh, yeah.
of where we need to go. And if we could share that with the captain so that way we can try to land as close as possible to where we want to go, that would
Alright.
be great.
I can. If you want to hand it over, I can definitely include it in his next meeting.
Yeah. So here's our map of Maztica. And then I
Oh,
think.
blood. That's nice.
Oh, no, no, not that map.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't give him that map.
Okay.
I give him the map that I bought.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, that one's on Dikith.
Got you.
We don't take that map.
Uh-huh.
And then I put a small X about where we want to go in that mountain place area. That like we get
Yeah.
as close as possible to this location. That would be
Okay.
great.
I will let him know.
Awesome.
I can let you know that he probably won't get too close, but we can get you near the shores. I don't think there's anywhere to actually dock, so.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As long as we're not spending a week or two trying to find where we want to go. If we can get as close as
Well,
possible and then
if
only
this
spend a couple
map
days.
is correct, this is the side that we will be arriving on anyways, and he points towards the closest side to where the mountain is. So he says like they're coming from the right side of the map. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yep, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like where that little like bay is, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the direction like you'll be coming in from in towards that way. So it'll be easy
Okay.
enough anyways. So he
Awesome.
points to like right above the bay and he says, "Yeah, we were most likely aiming for there. I can try and persuade him to get into the bay, but I don't know how likely that is."
I mean, as close as possible is fine. I mean, you guys are already doing a lot more than what we thought was gonna happen. So
Can I let you in on something? And he kind of motions
sure,
you a bit closer.
I lean in.
I'm gonna let you know. I believe the captain is thinking that you're all going to be sharing a bit of your wealth with him. Just so you know.
That was part of the deal.
I think he's thinking he's going to get his own share as well.
Oh,
You know, sea style.
yeah. I got you.
Just so you know.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for heads up, Eric. Keep up the good work.
You as well, or keep up the good whatever it is you're doing.
Cool. And then after that, I'll just head away. As I'm and over like the period of days as we're doing is I probably most just people watch, put names to people, just trying to see how the operation of the crew works. Every time I see Dikith practicing his bagpipes, I say, "Hey, Dikith, sounding good. Keep up the great practice."
They get
Uh,
this confused that people are hearing him.
so first thing you notice is probably that, or if you want to give me an investigation check actually, and give me an insight check as well. Nice. Nice.
Ha
Nice. All right. So once again, I will give you names and people later on, so we don't have to bog up time. However, you do notice that Captain Dan seems to work right alongside his crew. He is not a man to sit back and sit there and be lazy. He mans the ropes. He mans everything that needs to be done. You even notice that he swabs decks if he has to. Secondly, you notice that Damatia, even though she is quiet and doesn't seem to say much to anyone besides the captain, She does command the respect of every single crew member, especially the captain and especially Gray. Thirdly, you hardly, if ever, notice Bjolf. Fourthly, Razor Tail does actually have an extremely sharp razor-like tail that he tells you about in depth and that he uses in combat apparently very well.
Just out of curiosity, does Razor Tail and Tomatia do they not Tomatia? That's a
That's amazing. No, I'll never unpicture her as a tomato.
Dum, Dum, Dalmatia.
Yeah.
Are they similar tieflings, or are there like is there like a big difference between the type of tiefling they are?
She is just straight like obsidian black skinned. He is like the natural deep crimson red skinned. She has those goat like horns or ram like horns, I should say. Whereas he has two like straight up spikes.
Okay.
But if you're looking for relationships, that's a high enough roll that you do notice two elves who appear to be fucking identical.
Ooh, twinsies.
In almost every single way.
Cool. I do keep my eyes on Domatia for most of the trip, just because she intrigues me. She has so many blades on her.
Yes. After counting, you got up to 20, and you're probably not sure if that's even the full amount.
Jeez, that's insane.
And none of them look similar. Do you get what I mean? Like, every hilt has its own style and seems to have its own story and personality.
This is the next league character.
I would love that. I love Damatia. Oh my goodness. But as the days go by, you learn more and more information. I'll get that to you separately because with that insight roll, you probably learn actually quite a bit. Is there anything else you'll be doing though?
Probably at some point I'm gonna have to potentially run some kind of. Actually, no. At some point, I will ask Dikith if he could identify the bow.
And Dikith takes the bow in his hands and he does his little fingers over it. And he says, "It's a bow without a string." And then he does his thing for another 10 minutes and ritual identify.
All right.
I was gonna say, I'm like, thanks.
Similar to the sensation of identifying the book, you are about to learn what this does before you hit this phantasmal wall that you just completely nullifies your magic.
Why do you keep handing me things that give me headaches when I try to read them?
I don't know, but at least no blue fire came out this time.
I mean, you never know. But there's still time for it to blow up.
Yeah.
You can have it.
I don't know. I'll figure things out eventually. But until then, you know what? We should practice being merry men. You work on those bagpipes, I'll play the flute, and we'll get a piece going.
Yes.
So while Dikith is practicing his bagpipes, I'll pull out my flute and I'll play along with him.
All right, you guys can give me performance checks.
While this is happening, can I just like hear them come up and start playing my lute?
Sure.
Ooh, I am
Yeah.
off key.
Give me a performance
Probably in
check.
the wrong octave.
Yeah, probably 2 octaves away.
Wow.
Oh, it's all right though because Dikith is starting to figure out the bagpipes, and what originally sounded like horrible wailing and screaming, he's now able to turn into a decent sort of sea shanty that, using his past experience with other wind instruments, begins forming this interesting melody between your lute and the flute that aren't really that beautiful, but are causing enough of a tune to follow along. And it seems like most people are starting to enjoy it. And at
That's
that
exactly what I was picturing in my head, Kevin.
At that point, you all hear from above you, "Ah, ships ahoy! Port side!"
Chips.
And
There's chips in the
you
port.
all watch as several of the members go to the port side and begin looking. "Oh no! Oh, get the captain!" You just hear whispering among the crew. As several
Kovash,
take
I
off.
guess, yeah.
After a few moments, you all watch as the captain rushes past you into the side of the ship and pulls out a looking glass. "Man your stations! Pirates abound!" And you just see a flurry of activity.
Where should I be, Captain?
Do you all go over to them?
Yes.
All right.
I get
Yes.
ready for combat with
You-
my new pointy thing.
You see
Yeah.
people gathering at the sides of the ships, gathering bows out of bows and crossbows out of little compartments. You see several men start loading the ballista on the front of the ship. And you notice, if anybody would like to give me a perception check.
So much I would love to give you a perception check.
I'll join on this.
I could open my
14.
14 from the barbarian bros.
Kovash and Sif both just kind of like crash into one another and are like, well, not leaning over the edge, but like kind of peering over, like at the same.
Sif, Kovash, you both notice immediately black sails. 2 large black sails heading directly at you. The
Two
rest
black
of you,
sails.
the
and
rest of you
anything?
notice just 2 large ships looming in the distance.
Sif just kind of actually looks at Kovash and asks that exact question to him. Does black sails mean anything?
Yeah. Do they?
Yeah, it means they're pirates.
Oh. Sif's gonna go downstairs and get the crossbow.
Yeah, Kovash puts the trident away and gets his sword ready. He shouldn't end up in the water right now.
Alright. So.
Sif is actually also gonna, just in case anyone else in the party, anyone who can fight into such and is up and there and ready. Like, hey, we got some black sails coming.
Yeah, well, you've already noted. You guys are the last to notice. You all were standing there as they rushed around and are getting ready. You see several members already have bows ready at the side of the boat. You see Captain Dayan has taken over the wheel himself and is starting to go away from the 2 ships. You see that Damatia has pulled 2 small sabers from her waist, and one glows with a light blue aura. You see that Gray has pulled out this enormous hammer that is larger than any of you. I assume Bjolf has his sword at the ready. The rest of you are getting ready. And as the ships approach, that's where we're going to pick up next week. Sorry, guys. It's now 11, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to go much longer for a full battle, as this probably will take some time. But I thank everybody for joining us. I especially thank Lainey, our new member, who's going to be joining us for our campaign. So, welcome, Lainey.
Yay,
Welcome.
applause.
Beowulf
We
is
need
really
another
interesting to me, even though I can't say his name apparently. I hope you all had fun. I hope those of you who watched us had fun. And once again, follow us, new platinum content. You can find us here on Twitch or YouTube. Seems like we're going to have the steady schedule of D&D every Monday at 8 Central. A new schedule will be coming out for other games and other things that we're going to be trying to get out to you guys. But as always, we here love you guys, and we hope to see you Monday. Have a good night, and stay safe out there, everyone.
Come,
Love
Bjolf.
you,
Let us
chat.
come, Bjolf. Let us crush this heresy.
You and I just need to get into a shit fight, dude.
Oh, we're about to fuck up some heresy.
Well, the reason that I haven't, I didn't go into the one-on-one is it was already 10:30, and I didn't want to get too deep into that.
Taking forever. No big deal. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
That's,
Oh.
I